For most of us, our minds feel like a battlefield, a never-ending stream of thoughts, worries, and judgments that keep us trapped in a cycle of anxiety and self-doubt. We're constantly told to control our thoughts, to fight our inner demons, to strive for a state of perfect mental clarity. It's a place where peace is just a fleeting visitor. But what if this entire struggle is based on a fundamental misunderstanding? What if the very thing we're trying to control is, in its essence, already free? And beneath all that noise lies a profound innocence? It seems like a radical idea, the innocence of the mind, but it's a core concept in non-duality. This isn't about positive thinking or suppressing negative emotions. This isn't just about self-help and promising quick fixes. It's a complete shift in perspective, a recognition of the mind's true nature beyond the stories it tells. It's not the enemy. It's a beautiful, intricate mechanism that has been profoundly misunderstood. For centuries, we've been conditioned to view the mind as a problem to be solved, a wild beast that needs to be tamed. We're told that our thoughts are the source of our suffering, that our emotions are a burden, and that we need to constantly strive to achieve a state of perfect mental control. Think about it. How much time and energy do we spend trying to suppress negative thoughts, to silence our inner critic, to achieve a state of unwavering focus? We meditate, we practice mindfulness, we seek therapy, all in an effort to manage the chaos within. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the sheer volume of mental activity. We identify with these thoughts, believing they define who we are. I am angry. I am a failure. I am not good enough. They create our sense of self, our ego. They also create suffering. We get caught up in the drama, reacting to every mental impulse, reinforcing negative patterns. But what if this entire narrative is based on a misunderstanding? What if this very struggle is the problem? What if our attempts to control the mind are only reinforcing the illusion that it needs to be controlled? What if the mind, in its natural state, is not a source of suffering at all, but a field of pure potential? Non-duality offers a different lens. It suggests that the mind, in its essence, is pure, open awareness. Thoughts, emotions, and sensations are simply appearances within this awareness, not intrinsic parts of it. They appear and pass away like clouds in the sky, without ever changing the sky itself. Can a cloud stain or damage the sky? Of course not. Similarly, a negative thought cannot corrupt the fundamental purity of your mind. The mind's innocence lies in its capacity to reflect all experiences without being affected by them. Nisargadatta Maharaj, a revered teacher of non-duality, put it this way: all thoughts are pure until someone gets concerned with them. The key here is to recognize that thoughts are not inherently you. They are simply mental events, arising and dissolving spontaneously in the field of awareness. Just as waves are not separate from the ocean, thoughts are not separate from the underlying consciousness that gives rise to them. The mind projects latent tendencies, which are then mistaken for reality. So, if thoughts are just appearances, what creates the illusion of a troubled mind? The answer, according to non-duality, is the I thought, the primary identification with a separate self. The mind, in its attempt to make sense of the world, creates divisions and distinctions. It separates I from other, good from bad, right from wrong. This is the birth of duality, and with it comes the ego, that tricky imposter. The ego is the thought I. It's the false sense of self that identifies with thoughts, emotions, and experiences, creating a story about who we are. And because this story is based on limited and fragmented perceptions, it's inherently unstable and prone to suffering. We cling to these stories, these self-images, and defend them fiercely. We judge ourselves and others based on them. We become trapped in a cycle of seeking validation, avoiding pain, and reinforcing the illusion of separation. But here's the key. This I is also just a thought, an illusion. It has no independent existence. When you investigate, you can't actually find this separate I. It's a concept, a mental construct. So how do we realize this innocence of the mind? One powerful tool is self-inquiry, a process of questioning and investigating the nature of your own being. Ramana Maharshi, a renowned sage, advocated a direct approach. Who am I? By questioning the source of the I thought, you can dismantle the illusion of a separate self. Another technique is neti-neti, meaning not this, not this. This involves systematically negating everything that you are not: your body, your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs. By discarding all these false identifications, you gradually empty the mind, revealing the underlying awareness that remains. The practice of witnessing is also crucial. This means observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment or reaction. Imagine you're sitting by a river, watching leaves float by. Each leaf is a thought. You don't try to grab the leaves, to judge them, or to follow them downstream. You simply observe them as they arise and pass away. Similarly, with your thoughts, you don't need to engage with them, to analyze them, or to believe them. Just notice them, acknowledge their presence, and let them go. As you become more proficient at witnessing, you'll notice that thoughts lose their power. They come up and pass away without hooking you. You realize that you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness that is aware of them. It's important to note that realizing the innocence of the mind is not about doing anything. It's not about suppressing thoughts or forcing a state of emptiness. It's about recognizing what is already here, your natural state of being. The mind may try to make it a project, a goal to achieve. But the truth is, you are already that pure awareness. Just stop striving, stop struggling, and rest in the simple sense of I am. So what are the qualities of a mind that has recognized its inherent innocence? A deep, unwavering sense of peace that is not dependent on external circumstances. A natural intelligence and clarity that arises from being free of mental clutter. An increased sensitivity and compassion for oneself and others, and freedom from the grip of the ego and its endless desires and fears. Understanding the mind's innocence has profound implications for how we live our lives. First, it allows us to cultivate greater self-compassion. Instead of beating ourselves up for having bad thoughts or negative emotions, we can recognize that these are simply natural occurrences, like weather patterns passing through the sky. Recognizing the innocence of the mind doesn't mean you become a passive observer, detached from the world. It means you engage with life from a place of greater awareness and freedom. You still experience thoughts and emotions, but you don't identify with them. You act with greater clarity, compassion, and effectiveness. You are no longer driven by the ego's need for validation and control. We can also break free from the endless cycle of seeking and striving. When we realize that we are already whole and complete, that there's nothing we need to achieve or become, the pressure to constantly improve ourselves begins to dissolve. We begin to live more fully in the present moment, appreciating the simple joys of life without constantly chasing after some future ideal. Krishnamurti said it best: the elimination of fear is the beginning of attention. Now, of course, this perspective can be challenging and even unsettling for some. Let's address a few common ones. If the mind is innocent, why do I have so many negative thoughts? Negative thoughts are simply appearances, like shadows. They don't define your true nature. Does this mean I should ignore my problems? No. It means you address them from a place of clarity and non-attachment without getting caught up in the drama. Is this just positive thinking? No. It's about recognizing the fundamental purity of awareness, which is beyond both positive and negative thoughts. The concept of the innocence of the mind is a radical invitation to change how you perceive yourself and your experience. It's an invitation to step out of the battlefield of your mind and into the spaciousness of pure awareness. It's a call to recognize the truth of who you really are, not a limited, flawed individual, but the boundless, pristine awareness in which all things arise and pass away. So, take some time to investigate your own mind. Question your beliefs. Practice witnessing your thoughts and emotions, and discover the secret innocence that lies within.